What is up, and I welcome each and every one of you back to a brand new Civ 6 or Civilization 6 video. Today we are going to be talking about the top 5 most fun strategies you could ever do in Civ 6 or Civilization 6. But yeah, I always talk in this channel about how to get better at the game. I always do some stupid playthrough where I'm only allowed to use one finger, pinky finger of my left hand, and I have to finish the entire game in 30 minutes or whatnot. But today we're going to do something a little different. These strategies are going to be sort of unique. You might know one or two of them. In fact, you probably do know one or two of them. But I think for the most part that these will be sort of unheard of, unique, fun to play as, and trust me when I say they are super fun to play as. I'm not going to spoil anything. Let's get right into the video with the first fun strategy, which is playing as Hammurabi on marathon or epic game speed. Now, here's the thing, right? Let's be honest, okay? Hammurabi and his unique ability is pretty broken for a domination victory, right? You can get bombards in the ancient era, you can get planes in the medieval era, all that good stuff, but why not play him on marathon difficulty? Now, marathon would make the game significantly slower, I guess you could say, because techs are going to be way more expensive, and production's going to be more expensive. Everything is going to be way more expensive except for one thing: movement speed and conquering cities. So what the strategy essentially entails is playing Babylon, getting a couple Eurekas early on, like getting 3 archers or 2 crossbows or stuff like that, and then you will have either a crossbow rush in the ancient era or something like a bombard or plane rush in the medieval era. Now, the way the strategy differs from a regular Hammurabi game is instead of having crossbows for like 30 or 40 turns before the enemy AI can respond, you're going to have it for so much longer because of the increased tech costs, production costs, and gold costs for building units on the longer game speeds. But when it comes to moving and attacking, there is no difference. So instead of being like 50 turns with crossbows before the enemy AI gets medieval era units, you're going to be at 100 or even 150 turns of just doing whatever you want with your unstoppable units. Now, it is going to be expensive for you to get the units, but considering the fact that getting Eurekas for the crossbowmen is easy, build 3 archers, it really should not be that hard, and getting the Eureka means you get the full tech, so all you have to do is spend a couple thousand gold or like 30 or 40 turns building a couple crossbows, upgrading some crossbows, and then you get to go to war and pretty much dominate the entire map for like 200 turns or something crazy like that. It's super fun. I highly recommend playing someone like Hammurabi on the longer game speeds because the AI is going to have no time whatsoever to catch up to you. And yeah, it's just fun. What can I say? Now, you might have known about the first strategy. Maybe you would have thought, okay, it's not that, creative of a strategy, right? It's probably anybody could have done this if they were given 10 minutes to think of a Hammurabi strategy. But this next one is going to be really, really unique. And let me get into it. It is going to be Basil with Crusade, fascism, religion, rush. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get demonetized for saying the F word on YouTube, but essentially what that ideology is, we'll call it the F ideology. The F ideology gives all your units 4 combat strength when at war in the late game. So what the plan is for this is to get Basil, get a religion, get the crusade belief. You're not going to go to war yet, though. Then you are going to expand your religion to multiple capital cities, because if you expand it to religious cities or whatever, you get 3 extra combat strength from taxis. So by the time the late game comes around, you're going to be getting 10 combat strength from crusade, 3, 6, let's say 9 combat strength from converting enemy holy cities, and you're going to get an extra 4 from fascism. Oh, I probably got demonetized a second time on this video. But then you're also going to be getting some combat strength from oligarchy. So let's say you don't want oligarchy because you're going to be using cavalry units. Your tanks in the late game, 70 base combat strength, right? Instead, you're going to have plus 10 from crusade, making it 80. Fascism's going to make it 84. Religion rush is going to make it an extra 9. So you would have tanks with 93 combat strength up from 70. Giant death robots would be even stronger than that. It's just absolutely insane and so much fun. It's more of a late game strategy rather than going for a horseman rush as Basil or Constantinople or Byzantium or whatever it's called. But it is just so much more relieving when your enemy has like 60, 50 combat strength and you're up there with like 120, 130, literally one-shotting cities right through walls. It is absolutely amazing, and I cannot recommend this strategy enough. Let's move on to the next strategy. Now, this next one is kind of like the Ethiopian game I just did, where I had a huge map with small map settings. So I had like the largest map possible with about 9 civs and 6 civs and 9 city states, which was pretty cool. As Ethiopia, I was able to infinitely expand and get like 1,000 science in the late game. But we're going to be doing this strategy again. Huge map, small settings, infinite city spam, except this time we're going to be using Trajan of Rome. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the Roman Empire gets free monuments in every city in Civ 6. So not only are you going to be able to infinite settler spam and get all those free monuments, which is about 2 culture when you're fully loyal, but with your legions, you're going to be able to take out the closest civ, right? It's not going to be too hard. They're going to be farther away than usual, but with the combat strength legions normally have and a great general, you should be able to take out another civilization, giving you even more room to expand to. So in the Ethiopian game, I had like 15 or 16 cities. With the Romans in the same exact setting, you could have upwards of 25 to 30 cities. That is an automatic 60 culture without doing anything, no population, just settling those cities and getting those free monuments. You'd probably blitz so fast with a culture tree, you'd be in the medieval era and completely finish every civic. It is that amazing. Win the easiest culture victory of your life that way. The Roman infinite settler spam with a little bit of domination sprinkled in on the largest map possible with still just 6 civs and 9 city-states. Absolutely insane. The one thing I would tell you to worry about is if you're too far away to declare war on someone with your legions in time. In that case, just skip it, I would say. But a lot of the times, you're not going to be that far away. Like, maybe it'll take you like 10 turns to move your legions to the enemy cities. And you would have to deal with loyalty because, again, the cities are going to be super far away because you are on the largest map possible with like the smallest amount of civs possible. But you could go ahead, you can wipe out one enemy, and you'd have so much room to expand. You know, you get political philosophy, you get the government plaza, and you get the ancestral hall. You end up spamming out those settlers super duper fast, and it just ends up being one of the easiest culture games of your entire life. Let's go ahead and move on to the second to last strategy. The fourth strategy I have is a very well-known one, but an extremely, extremely fun one. Russian Void Singers. Now, for those of you who don't know, Russia's the best faith civ in the entire game. You're going to be getting infinite amounts of faith with their Lavra and with the Dance of the Aurora Pantheon, and the fact that Tundra tiles just give you faith anyway because nobody messes with the Russian Tundra. But aside from that, you are going to be able to go Void Singers, which turns 15% or 20% of your faith into science, culture, and gold. And as Russia, you're easily going to be making thousands of faith per turn by the late game. That ends up being a lot of science, culture, and gold. It is an absolutely disgusting amount. Again, you can do the same strategy as the Roman one we just talked about with like the largest map settings possible and just like 5 or 6 civs, and then you can just start like infinite settler spamming everywhere. But with Dance of the Aurora, as Russia, you are going to be able to obliterate the game when it comes to faith, making infinite amounts of faith with the Void Singer Secret Society, and it just brings a tear to my eyes seeing all the goddamn science culture. You'd easily be making thousands of those yields if you also add in campuses and theater squares and stuff like that, and you could easily have one of the fastest victories you have ever seen. Get something like Mont St. Michael maybe, which is pretty much Mausoleum of Halicarnassus or Petra, but instead for Tundra tiles, and you are going to be looking good. Not only that, but if you get a religion, go ahead and get World Church or Cross Culture Dialogue and just watch those yields expand infinitely. I mean, my God, what an absolute sight to see. But yeah, it's pretty much it for Russia. It's a pretty well-known strategy, I think. So let's go ahead and go to probably the best strategy ever, the most fun you will ever have in a Civ game. Let's get right into it. Now, the last strategy we are going to be talking about is something never before seen. That's a complete lie, actually. I talk about it on this channel all the time, but it is an absolutely amazingly fun strategy. You're going to be having 80 combat strength units in the ancient era. That is right, I did say that. That is the Hungarian Himiko strategy. You all know what that is, right? Himiko gives you 10 combat strength. A great general gives you 5 combat strength. You add that together, 15. You levy units from Hungary. That's like another 10 or something, and you get 4 movement speed as well, and they're cheaper to upgrade into swordsmen even if you have like 5 iron per turn. I think it's like 2 iron and 10 gold to upgrade a levied unit into a swordsman as Hungary, which is absolutely insane. This is by far the most fun strategy you will ever have. I am not joking when I say With flanking bonuses, I got up to about 80 combat strength against enemy units. And this is the classical era, by the way, right? Most people are still in the ancient era with warriors and a couple archers. You will mince through everybody. You don't even need a battering ram because you will literally just one-shot walls. But with the battering ram, you will be able to absolutely destroy enemy cities. You could probably take out an entire enemy civ in 1 or 2 turns, quite honestly, with the amount of damage you're going to be able to do and with enough great generals. But with Himiko, with all these great generals, not to mention the fact that Himiko also allows you to levy units and gives you envoys when levying units and just lets you put envoys in city-states with her unique ability. Absolutely insane. Probably the best hero civ strategy in the entire game. I always talk about this strategy, but it is just so goddamn fun. Let me know down below if you guys want me to do that strategy in the near future, but I think that is going to be it for all 5 of our strategies. Thank you guys for watching. Later on, we are going to be doing a super special game I have cooked up in the Civ Lifer Lab. But if you have enjoyed, as always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, without further ado, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Huge shout out to my members, Cash Christian, Ben Ownby, John Blair, Jackson Perez, Polaris Gaming, Empyreum, Adam Mester, Jeff Utzler, Kim Cosmos. A really special shout out to my oh my god subscribers, Robert and Overflow of Amenities.